We are grateful that we can continue to serve the larger faith community in counseling and primarily the Anabaptist community. In 2015, we track how many calls we actually get per year. In 2015, we did 276 calls from people wanting assistance, wanting help. And that is progressively going up through the years, and last year we crossed the 400 mark in calls coming from not just Pennsylvania, not just from Lancaster, but really lots of calls from all over the states and other regions. So our one-on-one counseling the need is there. People are searching. We continue to offer 2 locations. The main facility is down in Conestoga, the 20 acres, beautiful facility the Lord has given us, quiet, peaceful. I always tell people when they call, I know 2 things. The Lord has given us a beautiful facility, and it's peaceful, and I know the Lord is here, and I know we have counselors that work hard. If you choose to come and you're intentional, good things are going to happen. I recognize that the reason people are calling is that people want help. We're living in a hard time in North America, in Pennsylvania, in our greater area here. People want understanding of their story and their lives. Why is it so hard? And ultimately, in the heart of all those questions is the most important question, and where's God in it all? I anticipate we're going to hear more about that tonight. But you know, our lives are a combination of stories, aren't they? And it helps us to understand what truth is, and truth about who we are, and truth about really what we believe, and truth about where we come from. And maybe the biggest truth of all is where we're going. That's what matters the most. And I'm grateful that we have a team at Life Ministries that can help people sort through those categories in their stories, because stories, people come and they're entwined and tangled, and sometimes there's a lot of confusion, and sometimes there's chaos. We've all been there. So we need help with those pieces in our story. And I'm grateful that we have a team there that knows a little bit about that journey and knows lots about who we're pursuing. You know, sometimes I ponder about adversity and struggle. But I've come to believe that adversity, at least some, is really a good thing. Because when we don't have adversity in our lives, we can get pretty settled. And adversity helps us to realize that we've been designed for more. And so instead of having this facade of everything is good on this side, it makes us go deeper and find what ultimate or true happiness is. So I'm glad that living in this broken world, that God continues to call us through the pathway of adversity and ultimately being able to find the truth about what matters the most. Recently, somebody read me these verses to remind himself and me of really what matters. What Habakkuk ended up saying, he only wrote 3 chapters, but ended up saying, though the fig tree does not bud, and there are no grapes on the vines, though the olive crop fails and the fields produce no food, though there are no sheep in the pen and no cattle in the stalls. And then he goes on to say this with authority and confidence. At least I hear it coming through. Yet I will rejoice in the Lord. I will be joyful in God, my Savior. The sovereign Lord is my strength. He makes my feet like the feet of a deer. In our journey, the last few years, in our family's journey, I've really clung to what Spurgeon said 100 years ago. He said, his words were that we know that God is too good to be unkind, and God is too wise to be mistaken. And when we can't trace his hand, we must trust his heart. I say that to you that hopefully in our counseling, that's what we are leading and helping people find. Just recently, I had a young man I was talking to, and I was talking to him about the centrality of the cross. That not only did God come to help us, Jesus come to help us for our own sins in Isaiah 53, but he also came to help us in those that have sinned against us. And his comment was, I've never thought through it like that. He said, in the last 5 minutes, as you've explained that, I have a whole new picture of the crucifixion than I ever had before. I see it in a totally new light. Some other things with our staff team, it's involved with numerous teaching opportunities. We continue to do the 10-course program, the counseling program at Life Ministries, on a 2-year cycle. We're just finishing Core 1, Lab 1, this in 2 weeks. This winter we ran it twice, Group A and Group B. We stayed a little bit smaller because of where we're at, but it's always full. And there's lots of people who just have a hunger to know more ways and their hearts to help other people. So we've been doing that for 20-some years, and it's always full. We keep doing ladies groups, the Wounded Heart groups, and we're doing some seminars, men's retreats, Amish youth group meetings on digital technology, social media things. We've had the opportunities in the last year to walk with family systems that are grieving deeply through some very tragic accidents and some suicide situations. We feel that, just consider that an honor to be able to walk people in their deepest level of pain. We continue, as you saw on the overhead, we continue to facilitate the father-son retreats and the Idaho men's retreats. We have the opportunity to join with LTO up in New York City, the DNI ministry, missions training. And so we have the opportunity to go up there and teach the last week of each one of those training cycles. And it's a privilege to teach young people before they head out and overseas. Tonight I want to do something just a little bit different. You saw our staff team spinning through here, but I would like for you to really meet our staff team. And so would the staff team please all come up here? Everything I was talking about a few minutes ago about our struggle and journey in life, and we need good people around us. And I can just tell you tonight that I have a lot of confidence in the people that I stand with, and an honor to stand with, because the last few years in our family's journey, they've been here and they've walked with us. So I'm very grateful for them. I'll start here. Actually, I'll start with Norma because she's been here the longest. So Norma has been with us from the onset, and with us, that was with them back then. She joined the team in 1989 when Lester Miller and they began to put it together. And you just came from NYP, correct? From there. So she's been with us for 30 plus years. She knows a little bit about everything that happens at the ministries, and confidentiality, support, she's tops. Brenda Hirschberger joined us 3 years ago from Virginia and Stuarts Draft. And before she came, she just had a plethora of other duties, responsibilities she's had, from teaching to being an administrative assistant and walking alongside people in the front lines. I'm very grateful for what she brings, a caring heart. And then it's Katrina Driver, just joined us in the last year. She primarily works out of the other office out in Spring Garden. Katrina is right in the middle of finishing her counseling degree down in Liberty. And she has that southern twang and that southern hospitality that warms our hearts. I'll come back to you. Elaine joined the team in 1997, 2 years before we came. And before Elaine joined the team, she did her RN training and worked in a hospital a number of years as in the ER and also in the psychiatric ward. And later went on to Colorado Christian University, did her master's degree, ended up at George Fox, came and served at Life Ministries, but during those years, she did a doctoral and graduated from George Fox. And Elaine brings just a lot of warmth and passion for ladies, and especially women that have been wounded and hurt deep in the souls of their heart. Where's Joshua? Joshua Strickler. You're welcome to join us. Joshua Strickler was raised in his early years over in Chambersburg, but has lived in Lancaster his adult life, married to Amy, and they have three children, 2 sons and a girl. Joshua graduated from Westminster. He joined the team in 2008, graduated from Westminster with his master's degree, and he just, about every kind of counseling he does well in. But this year, finishing he's been working the last 7 years. We
Closer to 9.
We won't name the years here, but he's slowly been working at doing his doctorate in psychology. And this last year, he's doing an internship up at Phil Haven, Behavioral Health. And after that, Lord willing, this fall, Joshua will again join us in the ministry. And I look forward to what he will be able to offer the Anabaptist community in the mental health field. It's a need that we have there at Life Ministries, doing evaluations for testing for us. So that's why he didn't come up, but he does belong here. Darla Hackman, she comes from the Midwest also and grew up on a farm just like Elaine did. She grew up in Kelowna, Iowa. She served at Northern Youth Programs for 10 years, did a lot of counseling with younger ladies, and then ended up at Life Ministries in 2012 and continues to work with young ladies. She cares deeply and has helped many young women, ladies, find their way into adulthood. I'm grateful for Darla. Naomi Zimmerman, she's married to Leon, and they have 4 adult children, 3 sons and 1 daughter. In the early years, Naomi also did her RN work and worked as a nurse. And then at some point, her husband is a teacher, and they ended up at Rosedale Bible College in Ohio. And Leon served there as a president for, I think, about 10 years. They ended up going to Albania for another number of years in the early 2000s, and they came back and joined our ministry. Her wealth of life experience is invaluable in working with mothers and ladies that come to Life Ministries. Hannah Byler. Hannah joined the ministry in 2013, a year after Naomi did. She grew up in the eastern part of Lancaster County, married to Sam Byler. She has a bunch of adult children as well. She worked, what impresses me about her heart is she did some hard work 20 years ago in her story, and she did our whole 10-course program, and people started reaching out to her. And we also saw what she had to offer when she did the 10-course program. And we went out and asked if she'd be willing to serve with us. And so we have her for 2 days a week. So we're grateful for Hannah and her heart for the Plain community. Dave Meyer. He's married to Carolyn, and he holds the honorable distinction as being our senior citizen in this group. Carries it well, does well with that. But I'll tell you something about Dave. He's young at heart, and he often helps us to laugh. And you know, when you're in this kind of work, you need to laugh at times. He served as a lead pastor for 26 years, and throughout those years, he did a lot of counseling. He also was a chaplain for 9 years at the local prison, served there. And we are extremely grateful, I am, for Dave's spiritual maturity, his biblical insights. He's a go-to person for some of those things. And he really cares about the hearts of the people he works with, deeply cares. Michael Hosteller. He's married to Kaya, and he has 2 little sons, a very young son that was born recently. Michael grew up in Farmville, Virginia, spent some time at Faith Builders, did his bachelor's work at Bethel College in Kentucky, and did his master's at Evangelical School of Theology. And he has a license in marriage and family therapy. Michael has a gentle, quiet spirit, but he's very intuitive. When he speaks, people listen to what he has to say. He speaks with clarity, and he's gifted in teaching. So Michael joined us in 2016. James Mast joined us 2 years ago along with Sherilyn and their 6 children. James came from Cutler, Virginia, but before that, came from Ohio. He's a Buckeye through and through, almost. James, before that, he served as an associate pastor. He worked for CAM for a number of years, helped some other nonprofit organizations, people helping organizations in Holmes County, Ohio start up. And he has a lot of experience in a lot of different fields. He's an IT guy. He's a man with a lot of wisdom and discernment. But I think what I appreciate about James the most is his pastor's heart, his just caring heart that he has. I leave the very best for last. Amy Wagler, married to Brandon Wagler. Before that, she was a Gingrich. She joined the staff in 2019 and works with teen girls from the ages of 15 to 25. And her heart comes alive when she sits across from these young ladies. Amy got her master's degree at Cairn University in North Philly. I'm grateful to have the opportunity to work alongside my daughter. She has some of her mother's natural gifts and abilities when it comes to counseling, that's for sure. And last is my wife, Kathy. We joined Life Ministries in 1999, moved down here from Manitoba, and we've been serving now for 20-some years. And it's been rich and an honor to walk alongside you, Kathy, and serving the community together. Actually, a week ago, we finished out one of our counseling workshops, and Kathy came back and joined me for that weekend. It's the first time her and I have worked together at Life Ministries in 3 years. So that was really good. And she helps to keep me straight. So thank you to all your staff. I'm grateful for you.